As the government begins making changes, immigrants are still moving through the valley.
Many are headed north, hoping to end up with a new life somewhere in the United States. Channel 5's Christian Von Preissing followed them on their journey.
We meet them on the river, on the road, at respite houses, and at bus stations. They're here illegally, but they're not in custody. They carry an envelope like this. Inside the official documents are their ticket to the future and a promise to the government that they're required to keep. The miles through South Texas melted away. As the distance from the border grew, so did Maria Molina's growing sense of freedom. Maria's son Nathaniel stood fixed on the unfamiliar territory flying by. She started in El Salvador on January 20th. She struggled through Mexico's tough terrain. We met her at the McAllen bus station. Now she's on her way to San Antonio. We're along. The Falfurrias checkpoint comes up suddenly in the countryside. This was Molina's chance to give her personal information freely. Border Patrol agents boarded the bus, not letting anything through, to check everyone's immigration status one by one. She clutched her manila envelope in order to appear in immigration court. It's her pass to continue her journey. She'll have to decide whether to follow those orders at some time in the future. She says she will. The San Antonio bus station is the hub for these people who spent their last days in Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras. Those people with a sense of freedom. Like Molina, they carry manila envelopes with itineraries to American cities still unknown. Some were brought here after staying in a family detention facility. Other people simply boarded a bus in the valley. In a quiet neighborhood in the center of San Antonio. Commotion abounds. A respite house.
Generally, it's one mom, one kid in the bed.
11 bedrooms.
You can stretch a bag of potatoes and tomatoes a really long way, and everybody's really creative.
Before a night of rest, a comforting sound. No more snacks. A real meal, just like back home. Pupusas. This experienced pupusa maker and her daughter are from El Salvador. They just got here.
Gracias.
She gives me a pupusa. She tells me why she's here.
Para que mi hija crezca
Sí.
y me den permiso para poder trabajar.
¿Qué tipo de trabajo quisiera?
Sí, en cocina.
Igual, sí,
en
porque
cocina.
ya sabe, ya.
Sí, estoy más práctica, sí.
The night before, a new crowd was dropped off here. The manager says 40 immigrants arrived, bringing that count to 70 here.
We've turned it into like an airport arrival sort of thing.
Today, many are on their way to new cities. Day in, day out, it's the norm.
Familia en este país.
One woman arrived here 18 months ago. She leads a new group over to the dollar store.
Y ya mis planes están quedarme aquí.
This is her neighborhood now.
Me gusta hacer lo que hago. Si lo mismo que yo pasé, entonces me hace a mí entender también lo que las mamás han vivido, han pasado.
She takes charge. She's less timid than the others. She's found a purpose.
Como todos haciendo una vida normal.
A normal life.
Que miren.
These women are in the U.S. illegally, pending removal. They're ordered by the government to appear in immigration court. Now they're looking for a lawyer. Not far away, Jenna Pollock is working as a staff attorney for Raíces, the same organization that operates the respite home here.
They don't know like what is the burden of proof.
At least once a week, she drives here to the Karnes City Detention Center. Karnes City, once better known as an Eagle Ford energy boomtown, now home to the detention center. A temporary place for up to 1,500 mothers and children. Pollock saw more than 70 clients in one day in her last visit.
I would love to do more.
They face expedited removal.
Which means that they can be deported without ever seeing a judge.
Immigration courts aren't criminal courts. They're civil courts. In these civil courts, people who cross the border illegally have no right to a court-appointed attorney.
And most people go unrepresented.
I can hear in the evenings the kids playing outside.
The Karnes City Detention Center sits on the edge of town.
I always smell their good food cooking in the mornings, and noon and evening.
with neighbors across the street.
Smells like I would like to walk over and eat with them.
That's most of what neighbors know about this site on the horizon. Sheriff Dwayne Villanueva visits.
It's really a nice setup.
He tells us he tours it every few weeks. Inside this ordinary looking building, mothers are counting the days until they and their children are on a bus headed north, watching the miles melt away, feeling that growing sense of freedom, looking toward the future. The idea the government can catch and release somebody like the folks you met in this journey and hope they show up in immigration court, that's causing problems. Here's how it happens. Every month, thousands of people cross the river illegally into the Rio Grande Valley. Some are adults, others children who make the journey alone. Some are single mothers and fathers with children. The majority are from Central America. They're caught at the river or turn themselves in. If caught, Mexican nationals may choose to return to their country voluntarily. Often they return to Mexico the same day. The processing and removal for Central Americans takes longer. Some adults wait in detention centers. Some children go to government-sponsored shelters for immigrant youth. Families are sometimes sent to detention centers in Cairn City, Dili, and other places. Others are set free. Then they're processed and released with orders to appear in immigration court on their own recognizance. It's up to them to decide if they'll show up. From the McAllen bus station tonight, Christian Von Preissing, Channel 5 News at 10.